I was in a hangar, right, and I wanted to flip around, I could. See that? It's all vector landing, a little bit of a downstrafe, space brake, and boom. That was gorgeous. What up guys, Astro here, back at it again with another video. Today we're doing a fun one for you guys. You guys have been requesting this for a long time. We're doing tips and tricks on landing. Do you want to land like a boss? Look no further, this is the video for you. So if you like that sort of thing, make sure you smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you know when I go live or when any other videos come out and things like that. Hopeless is trying to, or Soulless is trying to get us killed by jumping around on the reclaimer. But everything's fine. Hit that notification bell and hit that join button to become a member, and you get double giveaway chances and other wonderful things like supporting me and whatnot as a content creator. So without further ado, let's get into tips and tricks on landing and vector landing in general. So that's mainly what today's going to be about, is vector landing. So what that is you're basically going to take your velocity vector and you're going to put it where you want to land, and then basically let the rest just happen. So the key to doing this is you need to be in decoupled mode to do this. So if you've never flown in decoupled mode, that's okay. If you just want to use it for landing, you see this coupled mode off. If you just want to use it for landing, then it's just something that gets you used to it, right? So you can fly in coupled mode normally, but when you come down to a landing, if you want to use this vector landing technique, you're going to have to come off of coupled mode and go into decoupled. So as you see there, I can swap back and forth between coupled and decoupled. You see that? Because I have a key binding that does that. I believe the default key binding in the game to do that is like, I think it's like Alt-C or something, right? The opposite of cruise control. Right? Yeah. Or maybe it's just C. One of those. Yeah. So on keyboard and mouse, that is. Now, vector landing, like I said, is using your vector, your velocity vector, to help you land. So you see here on the screen, we have a velocity vector. You see this magical thing right here? This is what the velocity vector currently looks like in game. That is your velocity vector. If it's not on and it's not staying on, you might have it disappearing. So in your game settings, there is a velocity vector always on option. Somewhere in here under pilot options, there should be velocity vector indicator. You want to switch that to always on. And I have it always on period, so I can always know where I'm going. It's a very amazing tool to use. But that is always something you should have on as a pilot anyways, to always have your velocity vector on. So that's one cool little tip trick for your landing situations and flying in general. So as you see, this velocity vector is going to move, and it's going to move depending on where I'm flying to. You see, if I'm going that way, you can see that my ship is going to the left. If it's going that way, you can see my ship is going to the right. If it's up above, you can see my ship is rising. If it's down below, you can see that we're going down, right? So paying attention to where your velocity vector is a good way of knowing how to fly in general, and definitely take advantage of flying decoupled. But what we're here for is landing. We're going to start off real simple and easy. And we already have our landing gear out. You know, we're just going to start with landing gear fully out. We're not going to do any fancy tricks or anything. And we're just going to land center pad. Okay. It doesn't matter how far away you start. It doesn't matter how fast you're going. Take it at your own leisure, however you want to practice this. And again, I'm going to back up a little bit. You can also see that right there is my velocity vector in the opposite direction. If it has the line in the center of it, that is the opposite of the direction you're flying, right? I'm going to come to a stop. The velocity vector is going to disappear because I'm coming to a stop. And then I'm going to fly towards the pad. And there's my velocity vector. You see it, me moving it across the screen. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to put this velocity vector right on the pad, okay? And that's it. And if you're going real slow, like you see I'm going less than 20 meters a second, I'm not pressing anything anymore. I'm just letting the ship cruise. And then you can use your ship your pitch and your yaw and everything to just guide your ship to land whatever way you want, you're just going to go in that direction. That's where you're going to land. Boom. This is a little small ship, so it bounced off, and we were going 18 meters a second, okay? So we bounced off. Now let's try it again. I'm going to back up just a little bit, and we're going to go a little bit slower, okay? So we're going to start here, and we're going to go like 5 meters a second, okay? So again, you set up the velocity vector right where you want to stand, or right where you want to land, right? And you could adjust it, and then it's just going to go. And we're going 5 meters a second. So we're going to come down much more soft this time. I'll even show you the third person view. Okay. Comes down. A little bit of a bounce there because we are on a very light ship. Okay. We're going to show you with other ships, and we're going to show you with really big ships as well. The next thing I want to talk about to help you with the velocity vector stuff that is still very basic. This is still very basic. We're going to go back to key bindings, okay? We're going to go back to game settings. I apologize. We go back to to your game settings, and you're going to look for this option here. It's a little bit weird in this current patch in 3.24.2. It has this like weird text in it, but it's flight options, space brake engages boost. You can turn that on or off. It actually doesn't matter, but I always prefer to have it on. And then, so it'll help if you have it on. So just, I would turn this on if you don't have it on in the first place. So our next technique is we're going to use space brake to slow us down. We're not going to use any other thrusters. We're not going to thrust forward, backwards, up, down, left, right. We're just going to use space brake to bring us to a nice, smooth, soft landing. Okay, so let's do this now, and I'll show this. So we're going to back up, okay, and we're going to come in kind of fast. All right, so I'm going to back up to about 700 meters away, 800 meters away. Well, we should probably back. If I'm going to come in fast, we should probably back up a little bit more. Okay, so it doesn't matter. This is just me showing this off. We're at 1,200 meters away, okay? We're going to put our velocity vector on the map like that, boom, and we're going to adjust it the way we want. Then all I'm going to do is use space brake to bring down my speed. I'm going to bring down my speed using space brake. That's the only button I'm pressing is space brake. I'm down to 40, down to 30, and as we get closer and closer, I'm going to readjust a little bit. Space brake down to 10, down to 6, keep tapping space brake down to 4, down to 3, down to 2. You can go as slow as you want when you come down to that landing. Make it real smooth, right? Boom. Down to nothing, right? You use the space brake to slowly bring you to a stop. Since we're in this little tiny ship and whatnot, it wants to bounce off. That's just something that we're having to deal with the small ships in this current patch. Plus, I have a little bit of stick drift that I need to fix. But you get the point. We'll do it one more time in fast speed so you guys can see. Okay, I'm going to come in and I'm going to do it a little bit faster, and we'll come down and I'll do it in third person, right? So again, it doesn't matter what position you're in or whatever, you know, you come in, you see your pad, you're going to get your velocity vector set up on the pad. You get your vector set up, you're flying in, going as fast as you are, whatever you want to do. Start bringing your speed down. I already got my velocity vector back. I don't need to press anything but my space brake. So whatever your key binding is for space brake, that's all you're pressing right now. As you see, we're coming in. I slowed down a lot. I shouldn't have slowed down that much. All right, but I'm not. My hands are not moving my sticks. I'm not changing anything. I can change my pitch and yaw and rotation. Sure, no problem. But it's just going to come down, and it's an easy little bloop. There you go. And again, because of gravity, I could turn gravity compensation off, and that will actually bring us down. That's a different key binding. But most people prefer to fly with gravity compensation on. But if you have gravity compensation off, that keeps you stuck to the pad. That's another button as well here in the game settings. Let me just briefly show you that. Did I pass it? I think I did. Gravity compensation. turn on or off. That's another one you can do in the game settings as well, right? And that makes it easier to land in some cases. But what gravity compensation will do is it's going to change your vector if there's gravity involved, right? So with gravity compensation on, you're going to see that this vector slowly starts going down. You see that? That's gravity taking me down, which you can adjust by counteracting the gravity a little tiny bit. And you come down with a nice smooth landing, right? But your choice, you can turn your gravity compensation on and off, as you'll see here. Watch, I'll do it again. Gravity compensation is, well, let me back up a little bit more. It's hard to show in that case. Come to a complete stop. Okay, so here's what gravity compensation on. Here's with it off. It stops, on, off, on, off. You see? So you can adjust that, do however you want. There's a key binding as well for that. There's all different ways of doing things, and you can come down to a nice, beautiful landing just like that. All right, so let's get a little bit fancier. All right, so everything has to do with vector landing. So if you master that technique, it takes time, but if you master that technique, you can do whatever you want. You can do flips, you can do spinneroonies, you can come at it any way you want. So say we're coming at it backwards, right? And we want to do a full entryway of coming in and doing a full flip. So, or any way you want to do it. You can come in, fly over the pad, set your vector, watch your vector. Or I need more room. This little 100i is a little beast. Okay. So anyways. So you set your vector, you slow us down, set your vector, it's set, and then you can flip, you know, do a flip. And then it's going to come down and you're going to be perfectly fine. Right? That's a real simple flip. You can do more complicated things. You can do whatever you want. If I go up into the air and get some distance, and then I come in and whatnot, as long as you have your vector set, you see this, the vector set, we're coming in at 60, I can flip and do whatever. We'll watch, you can see that vector still just there as we do our flip around and everything. Like it's going to be in the exact same spot. You see it, exact same spot. Exact same spot. We can do all kinds of flips. Make sure to use your space brake so you don't smash in. We're going 15 meters a second. Exact same spot. Whatever you want to do, your vector is going in that direction. Okay? So you can land with whatever kind of maneuvers and flips you want to do. Beautiful. Then you can start adjusting things whenever you feel like you got it. And you can come down in any kind of way you want and have some fun. So that's with the 100i. Let's show you a little bit of other ships that you can do the same thing. And we'll even throw in hangars and whatnot, because there's a difference between landing vertically, horizontally, all kinds of different ways. So we got a couple of options here. We got a Zeus and a Corsair. So let's hop in this Zeus here and show you guys a nice little Zeus landing, all right? I'm gonna do a cut so you guys don't have to watch me and all that stuff. So I'll see you guys when I'm back in the air with the Zeus. Welcome back. We are in the Zeus. I'm going to try to make this like a vertical landing that you would, or not a vertical landing, sorry, a horizontal landing like you would if you were coming into a horizontal hangar. It won't necessarily be like that. We'll probably do that one of those at the end of the video, but I just want to kind of bring in this Zeus that we're in. That's some random Zeus I just found at this location, and take it at kind of a horizontal landing for you guys. So remember, when you're landing, you want to turn off coupled mode and fly in decoupled. That's how you do the vector landing technique that we're doing. So make sure you have that situation under control. You also, one little tip that you want to have off in order to do this, if your landing gear stuff is on, this options, flight options, auto precision. That's when you have that on, when you have your landing gear out, it makes you go really slow. So that's okay if you're trying to use that to slow down and practice the landing. But if you're wanting to do fancier, faster landings, you're going to have to turn that off, right? So we have our landing gear down. I'm going to actually put my landing gear up for these demonstrations now so that I can show that I can pull my landing gear up at the last second for the landings anyways, right? So vector landing is a little bit different when you're coming at it horizontally, because you don't really have that option to just watch the vector the whole time. So we're going to come in, we're going to go nice and slow. We're still going to set our marker kind of relatively where we want it, but you're going to have to downstrafe, right? So we're going to come in, we're going to set our vector where we want it, drop our landing gear, and then you just bring it down and slow space break, space break, space break, and then beautiful landings. Okay, and that was like real short and simple. We'll do that in third person, and then we'll do a fancy Zeus landing without doing it that way. And we'll come in faster. Make sure we don't hit anything going backwards. We'll line up to this rock, and we'll come in and do what we can. So again, decoupled mode allows us to have this vector set. You see I'm setting the vector, and I could do a flip around even, right? So like I'm gonna flip around here in third person, pull out my landing gear, let the vector let me travel in that line. Slow it down as we get closer. This would be if I was in a hangar, right, and I wanted to flip around. I could. See that? It's all vector landing, a little bit of a downstrafe, space break, and boom. That was gorgeous. That was absolutely gorgeous, right? It takes practice to do things like that, obviously. You can use your bigger ships that have more momentum pulled in with them, right? The small ship was really easy to stop. The big ships take longer to stop. You see here, we're going to come in and we're going to use our space break again. We're going to space break, space break, space break, space break. Pull out our landing gear, adjust. Third person if you want, however you want to do it. Space break. There you go. Still bounces. Turn off gravity compensation, it won't bounce. Whatever way you want to do it. Turning off engines, all that kind of stuff. So leave it down below in the comments what you guys are doing to learn and practice your vector landing. The main point of the thing is put your vector where you want to land and land your damn ship. Hit the space bar or the space break, right? I think default space break is X on keyboard. And you just slow your ship down. You can do it in third person or in first person, whichever way you like. Nice, easy, slow landings. Now, let's just hop into the reclaimer and do some reclaimer landings, because that is a big old ship, right? So I will get in this reclaimer now and do some landings. See if you guys enjoy that. Be right back. Reclaimer here, the biggest bad boy and the heaviest ship currently in the game. So how do we land a big ship like the reclaimer with ease? It's the same technique I just showed you guys, all right? The same exact technique, okay? Now, this is the reclaimer with its landing gear down. This is the reclaimer with its landing gear up. Does it matter which position you're in? Not really. Same as before. We're not going to land on the pad because the pad is too small. We're just going to land on the ground, and then later we'll show you a landing in a hangar. But same thing here with the reclaimer. There's my velocity vector, guys. You see it? See it coming down, me adjusting it? We're going real slow, guys. We can go faster, we can go slower, we can do whatever we want, because as long as you take control with the velocity vector landing, you can do whatever your heart desires. So now we just set it there, adjust our reclaimer to the position we want. If you want to do this in or strictly in first person, you already got the vector set. Now you just set your ship even with the horizon. You see it? We also got to make sure our landing gear is out. Is our landing gear out? It is not. So let's pull out our landing gear. But do you see how I'm at 0 degrees, this line? We can just come down like this. We're going 7 meters a second. And you can just land like this in first person. Or you can do third person and watch it come down. I can even give it a little bit of thrust to come down. It's all vector landing, right? As we come down, you're going to be using your space brake. Space brake, make it slower, nice and easy, and it's just gliding, all decoupled mode. Gliding, slower, slower, slower. The nicest crispy land of all time in your reclaimer, right? You're just hitting space brake. That's the tip. That's the trick. Space brake is the answer. That's it. Set your vector up, hit space brake. You're now a boss landing machine. That's it. You guys want to see the reclaimer come in fast? We can watch the reclaimer come in fast. I know it's dark now. We've been out here recording this video. There's a crazy hawk in the mix. Right? Now, again, when you're landing something like a reclaimer, you're not going to come in like super fast. When I say let's come in fast with a reclaimer, I mean just we're going to come in faster than probably a normal player would come in with a reclaimer, right? So we're coming in. Actually, we're still going backwards. Now we're coming in. We're 2 kilometers up in the air. And we're going to come in and we're going to be moving faster and faster. We're going 50 meters. We're coming in. We're less than 2,000 from the ground. We're going to come in and we're just going to do it nice and easy. We're going 100 meters because that's how fast the reclaimer goes. We're going to set up our velocity vector. And now I'm just going to start hitting space brake. Just hitting space brake. That's it. That's all it is. It's that easy. Especially when you have gravity and compensation turned on. Nice and easy. Slow it down with more space brake. Voila. That's how you land. Just like that. I'm going to give you guys one last clip to end the video by landing in a hangar. I'll be with you guys in just a minute. We're going to do one more cut. And this tips and tricks video will be over. Leave down below in the comments your tips and tricks for landing and all the cool stuff you do. Alright guys, welcome back to the last part of our landing tips and tricks tutorial. How to land like a boss. We're here in the C2 at Seraphim Station, and I'm going to show you guys how to take a approach on a horizontal hanger, because vertical hangers are pretty straightforward. You come down from the top, you set your vector, you let the vector go, and you just coast in. Horizontal hangers are a little bit different, but you can still do the same thing, and I've already showed you in the Zeus coming to a horizontal landing. You just got to bring down you just got to do a little bit of down thrust when you're ready to land. And that's basically what I'm going to show you here in the C2, but we're going to make it fancy. And I'm only going to show the fancy part. I'm not going to do a basic version because you guys got the gist. This is the end of our landing like a boss video. Let's call a hangar. Get ourselves a C2 hangar. There it is. And we're going to come in. We're going to line up horizontally with our hangar, set our vector, and then do the rest with fanciness. Is our landing gear out? I can't tell because my camera... Our landing gear is not out. Okay. Alright. You could also look down there, but sometimes that is silly. So anyways, you're going to line yourself up straight and let your vector do the work. You see, here comes my vector lining up straight with the hanger, and that's about it. The rest is easy. So now you can do whatever you want with it, right? I'm going to flip this around so that we have our C2 in the opposite direction and ready to leave the hangar for us. Be nice if I can get my camera view to do what I wanted to do. But this is all thanks to our vector. I'm not using any thrusters besides space brake. No thrusters besides space brake. And then a little bit of down thrust. Blow out the landing gear. Space brake and down thrust. Nice easy back in. Again, down thrust and space brake. Little bit of forward thrust. And finish strong. And the C2, come down C2. Thank you. The C2 is also a little bit buggy with this landing right now, so you know, that easy. Thank you guys for making it to the end of this video. If you're watching the whole thing, again, like I said, leave your comments down below and discuss how you guys do your landings. How were the landings? We can do fancier landings. Come check us out live for fancy landings all the time. Like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you guys. Until the next one, keep looking up.